What's going on, everyone? Hopefully y'all are having a great day. So in this video, we have an Oblivion remaster, but we've done this before, but we have not done the Xbox versus PlayStation 5, PS5 Pro, and PC comparison. So we finally have one of those up. So let's get ready to get into this. Let me know what y'all think. We're not going to do too much talking at the beginning here because, yeah, this is a good one. But I will add in one thing, though, is that this game definitely needs more optimization because it's Unreal Engine 5, which I do not like, and I still don't until they make it like Unreal Engine 4, where things are that good and the gains are that positive. Because the negatives that come along with it are very annoying. So the development is good, but the engine. But let's get into this. All right, y'all. Oh, no. Yeah, let's put the sound over here. We don't want that to be loud. One thing that I like that he's doing here is you see that it's actual live gameplay. So you're seeing that. We see a sharp increase on the Pro, obviously, but it's not anything major. And one thing you're also going to notice is when the Pro goes from performance mode to quality mode, it's not drastic. We'll get stats too on what the systems are running on, so don't worry, we're going to get into that as well. But the PC version obviously is clearly better. All right, so here at the beginning is where we get some stats, which is actually pretty nice. It says on PC, upscale 2160p with DLSS performance. So they're just going to do performance. They're not even going to crank it up. Series X is dynamic 2160p 30 frames per second, but it's upscaled from 1440p interior. What's interesting is that it's using 1189p outdoors from 1080p, but PlayStation is running 1227p. Very interesting that the PlayStation 5 version is running better than the Series X version, which I kind of find odd. But hey, and there's nothing to really ask about, like development-wise. They were just developing based off of what they have. So this obviously isn't the final optimization, but we see that right here. Dynamic 2160p 30, both are doing that, but the PlayStation is just running slightly higher, like very slightly higher resolution when being outside. And yeah, you're not going to be able to tell a difference though. Whereas on the PS5 Pro, it's also doing dynamic 2160p 30. Quality mode. These are all quality modes, by the way. There's a 60 frames per second mode, which we'll get into. Upscaled 1440p, same thing. But outside, the Pro is doing 1270p. So we don't see a major difference here. It's almost like, yeah, I would expect it more. So, like I said, Unreal Engine 5, though, still got some ways to go. Now, when they go to performance mode, you'll notice the drop off in color tint as well and quality. Except on the PS5 Pro, it's not that big of a drop, but PC clearly has better aspects here, and it'll show more down the line. We'll see a difference here in resolution and clarity big time. I like how there's different ways of it being shown here. And then we move on. Okay. Okay, I see a downgrade, but once again, it's kind of going to be hard to tell here. Interesting on the color change right there. Clearly that looked more sharper, but we see there's a shimmering aspect here on PlayStation. Right there. In performance mode, it goes away. Isn't that interesting? Quality mode will appear on performance mode on the Pro. A little bit, it pops up. I mean, clearly you can see more of the detail on the PC version and right here too. Like the draw distance is clearly better, but it looks good on all. Just like at this point, you know what I mean? You see the shimmering though. Now it's showing up there on the performance mode on the Pro. They're shimmering on the Series X as well, but not like the PlayStation. We see that though, right? All right, now here is a major difference. This is where I think there's the biggest difference here. Look at these reflections in the water closely on PC. Look at this down here. You're going to see a major difference in ray tracing reflections and everything right here on PC. So we see this, right? How good this is. Like, these reflections are top tier and they're clear. Watch the difference. This is going to be on all consoles. So we see this right here. It can't handle that. This is how demanding Unreal Engine 5 is for a 20-year remaster. This is where I find it to be kind of annoying. But once they get that Lumen engine upgrade out, everything's going to be so good going forth. But right here, we don't see a huge drop off everywhere else. It looks pretty good on Series X quality mode, but in the reflections, major difference. It won't get any better either on the other ones. That is a little bit more poor because it goes to performance mode. And then as we go to PlayStation, as we see, the reflections are not much better. Pretty much the same. Performance, you take a hit on that. Now watch, this is the thing that's going to be interesting to me, is all the bragging people were doing about the PS5 Pro for ray tracing feats. Like they tried to even include RDNA 4. Let's see if it's able to match anything that the PC did, which was full clarity, before we get to the PS5 Pro. So it cleaned up some lines, but look at that. That should not be there. You would have expected something better, right? It is better, obviously, but it's not majorly better. Now watch the PC version when it goes back to it. This is what I mean here, y'all. Look at this difference right here. This definitely tells you everything. Because remember, this is about reflections. We're not looking anywhere else. This tells you what they're covering. I love the way they do it on this page. It's so professional. So like now looking at quality mode between the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, that's what I mean. Like there's no difference. Now going to the Pro, there is a bit of a difference, but it's not major. But going from Pro to PC, talking about get blown away, right? This is why I'm telling you where it can't, like when people are talking about it may be able to match the RTX 4070, I'm like, no, you have to really look at the settings too. And this is running on higher settings. And yeah, what a difference here. So we see this. No competition. Just reporting facts here. This is what we do. Facts, entertainment, having a good time. You know? And then performance mode makes this worse, as we see. PC doesn't change because it's doing performance on NVIDIA. Imagine if they do quality or DLA, it'll look better. I mean, this just looks so good, definitely with those reflections. Those reflections disappeared. You see how they don't have the ray tracing going on in aspects? It completely disappeared in that puddle of water right here when changing. But it still looks pretty good, though. Like, it's like I said before, like, things still look good regardless, though, even if you are playing on consoles. We're just seeing the difference here. Textures. Hey, there's definitely more details in the water, but not majorly. See, what's disappointing is the PlayStation 5 Pro is not showing any ray tracing features right here with the textures. It does look better. The color is better, everything. We see that on the Pro. And then the PC version is obviously the superior version. And this is exactly how it should be, but I think the Pro should be better optimized. Now here, it's going to be hard to tell a major difference, but obviously this is more clear. All you got to do is look right here at this, and you can see the clarity here. And you'll see the difference of this here, but this isn't like insanely like different. It's going to be hard to tell with this type of screenshot. Yeah, performance definitely dropped the resolution. And then now we have the Series S coming in, and all of these are running at 30 frames per second quality, but the Series S only has one setting. And you know, it holds up not too bad. you know. But for Unreal Engine 5, it's going to be rough. This game needs to be optimized more. But these are just the consoles running. This is where you could tell drops are happening big time, and this is where you see their smoothness. This is very professional because it's giving you every angle of comparison, not just simple comparisons. Done very well. And now we're doing performance mode at 60 frames per second. It's quite obvious that the Pro version looks better. You can clearly see that on the right because it doesn't get the performance hit like other consoles. That's where it gets its favor. But it's still running well on the Series X and the PlayStation 5 base as well. I like what I see. And imagine when it gets optimized a lot more, when we do get that upgrade. And it's supposed to be coming this year, by the way, the Lumen upgrade for Unreal Engine 5. Then we could be like, okay, good. Otherwise, man, the stuttering, the frame generation issues it has. I mean, the demands, it's like, no. Now we have a 5070 Ti, 5080, and 5090. And we see them running, obviously, the 5090. And guys, they're doing max settings ray tracing ultra with DLSS performance frame gen on all of these. And all of them are getting over 60 frames per second. Obviously, the 5090, as it should, is doing 136 frames at maxed out. It looks crazy. All of these are maxed, though. This looks insane. Major difference for sure. Yeah, it's getting over 70 frames. That's the weakest we have now with max settings with the 5070. But that one's doing 1440p. The others are doing 2160p. So native 4K, maxed out everything. Pretty impressive. And I play this on PC as well. I don't do all max, but do pretty well. It's definitely VRAM heavy, that's for sure, and it's just ridiculously demanding because of the Unreal Engine on top of that. Definitely a big difference. It still looks good on a Series X. Okay. Definitely using a different method when they do quality mode. And you know what? One thing that's cool about these comparisons too is, like I said, it's live comparisons. It's not just like still screenshots. It's in motion. Okay. Yeah, big difference here when you just look to the center here, even on the face too. Like theirs is faded. This is way better, and I would expect this to be definitely showing a lot better too. I mean, it definitely shows that it's better, but it's not major though, like it should be. Looking good though. So Vegetation could be right here. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Pretty much looking the same between PlayStation and Xbox again. And we pretty much have our answer on that and in the Pro version. Yeah. But man, I would have liked to see a bigger jump. It's a disappointing part. clearly on PCs where you see this right here. This is what I caught. Look how much better that looks and everything. It also has full shadow coverage on the wall. You see what I mean? There's a little bit of a shimmering aspects too on consoles. Yeah, shadow quality definitely went down. Even more, we see a little bit of shimmering there. Then we see that solidify again in quality mode, like it did on Xbox. Performance mode, there it is again. Then we see a little bit of interruptions there, and then the quote on the Pro, yeah, shadow mode should be that good. Will the performance mode on that do that though? Oh yeah, that sucks. That shouldn't be there. On PC, we'll never see that. This is about looking at the shadows. We see a major difference here. So that pretty much gives us an idea of the difference between PC right now and the consoles, and hopefully this gets more optimized. I wonder how much more optimized this game can get. Definitely if they grade the Unreal Engine 5 with the Lumen update is supposed to be coming this year. When that happens, oh man, now that engine will be a godsend. But for right now, I don't know. I still kind of feel like it's way more demanding than it should be, and it's making people think they need these type of cards to run these games at the settings when really the engine is just not done. So let me know what y'all think about this. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.